Hi, welcome to my YouTube channel, The Oyiboke, where you get to learn everything about analytics and automation. And in this video, I will do a beginner guide to Microsoft Power Automate. Power Automate is one of the tools within the Microsoft Power Platform ecosystem. Power Platform is made up of Power BI, Power Apps, Power Automate, and Power Virtual Agent. Power Automate was formerly known as Flows, and it is that tool that focuses on process automation. So let us do a deep dive and see how you can get familiar with the environment and the tools. I would like to start with the basic terms and things that you need to get to know that will help you to make use of the tools. I'll start with trigger. Trigger is an event that starts a flow, and you're going to make use of it over and over again when you start using Power Automate. In case you are using an automated flow, something must trigger your flow, and that event, be it should be manual, be it should be automated, it should be by time, it's a trigger. So because you're automating a process, something must always trigger it. So that is why we have a trigger. So that is a term that you should understand. And in Power Automate, we have over 100 different triggers, which are connections to different applications, Microsoft Forms, Office 365 applications, and those even outside Office 365 applications. The next we need to know is actions. So when your flow gets triggered, what should then happen? Actions represent the activities you want your workflow to do once your trigger takes place, which involves send email to someone or send a notification to me. But whatsoever the task, the action is, whatsoever the event you want to carry out or the activities you want to perform, once your flow is triggered, that is called actions. And the third component that makes up these tools is connectors. Connectors represent the application of services that you want to connect to. Don't forget how it works. First, your flow will get triggered, and you need to determine what the trigger is. And after trigger, then you want to carry out a series of actions or just a single action. Then we have the connectors. Connectors are the application of service that helps you carry out the actions. Take for example, when my flow is triggered, I want to send email to our HR team. Sending email to HR team is an action, but the connectors, what application of service am I using to send the email? I can use Office 365 Outlook, I can use Gmail, I can use even the mail notification from Power Platform, I can use normal or Outlook. So connectors are the application of services that you want to use to carry out a particular task. For example, OneDrive, Twitter, Power BI, and we have over 300 different connectors within that platform. So this is why Power Automate is very robust. It connects to several applications. Don't forget, connectors are also APIs, but they are wrapped around APIs. So when you're using connectors, what you are basically doing is calling on APIs. Alright. So what are the different type of flows that we have? So let's talk about type of flows. We have about 5, but I'm going to talk you through 3 because of license issues. First is automated flows. Today, by the time I show you the interface, you're going to see something like automated cloud flows. Microsoft is evolving every day. They're updating their solutions, renaming some, and that is what happened. Initially, it was automated flow. Then we get automated cloud flows because we now have the desktop application for Microsoft Flow. So automated flows, as the name implies, get triggers automatically. So these are flows that you don't need to do anything, it just runs. For example, sending a customized message when a new file is added to SharePoint, or when someone fills a form, a Microsoft form, you want to send a mail or you want to do something after that. So those kind of flows get triggers automatically when an event takes place. Just like the two scenarios I've shared, the SharePoint and Microsoft Forms. The second flow is instant. There are scenarios where you want to be the one to trigger your flow. I don't want it to run automatically. I want to trigger it myself because it's on demand. In that case, we have the instant flows where you get to create a button, and whenever you click on that button or you run the button, then the flow will run. Take for example, sometimes when I want to block my calendar for like an hour and maybe just to reserve the time, any moment I have a button on my app, Flow app, and when I click on it, it automatically blocks my calendar for 1 hour within that same period of time. And there are several other examples that you can use them for. The last flows here is scheduled flows. As the name implies, it helps you to schedule a task. Something that has to be repetitive. Take for example, you send email to your team, email reminder to your team maybe every month, just to remind them at the end of the month to submit their report. You don't have to be creating or composing email every time and send it to them. You can do that by automating using schedule flows. Then at your set time, maybe you want it every month or every day, you can set hours, the number of times you should run, and that way it gets sent every time. All right, I'm going to do a demo now. I will go to that platform and I will show you this live, the 3 flows. Right, so here I am. I'm currently in my Office 365. I've signed into Office 365, and from there, through the application pane that you have there, you can always locate Power Automate and then open it on a new tab. If this is your first time, remember it is unlicensed. So if your organization is using Office 365, you are then going to have access to this. By default, you have access to this. Just that there is also a license, but of course we have access to Power Automate. You might not be able to use some custom connectors because those ones are license based. So here, if this is your first time of loading, it's going to ask you some message, bring out the dialog box asking you to choose your region just to determine your time zone and language of preference. So what I have here, from the left side there, you can see my flows. It shows me the list of flows that I have. If you want to create flow, templates, connectors, don't forget, those terms should be getting familiar now. Connectors, those are applications or services. But when you are trigger, that activity that must happen for your flow to run, while actions are what should happen when your flow gets run or get triggered. As you can see on this environment, you can start from a template. You can start creating your flow from template. And we have over 300 templates like that. Take for example, save Office 365 email attachment to OneDrive for Business. This was is a template from Microsoft and it has been used 692,012 times. So you can see it makes it easier for you, and you can explore all the template by clicking there. And some of the things you want to do, you may have to consume and just customize those templates to achieve them. All right, and you can also start from connectors. These are connectors. So right now I'm just going to click on create, and you will see the types of flows that I showed you the other time that walk you through. Don't forget that I mentioned that type of flows are more than 3, even though I talked through 3, because the remaining 2 requires one form of license or the other. As you can see from here, automated cloud flow, instant cloud flow, scheduled cloud flow. The others are desktop and business process flow. Of course, for those that have license, I'm going to do a tutorial as well to cover how to create a desktop flow, how to create a business process flow. This is why I will encourage you to subscribe to my channel so that you won't miss out when I post those videos. As we continue here, I'm going to start with the automated flow. And what do I want to do here? So I'm going to click on automated flow. And let me name it YouTube. What's YouTube to Twitter? The goal here is to look for a trigger. So because you are creating an automated flow, select a trigger. And my trigger is YouTube. Anytime I upload a video on YouTube, I want to tweet about it. And I don't want to be doing it manually. It is that really easy. And here I just have to look for YouTube connector, and these are the 3 connectors that we have there. when I upload a video, that's what I want. Anytime I upload a video to my YouTube channel, it should automatically trigger this flow. So I'm going to select this and then click on create. So it's then going to bring up this environment where I can design my flow design environment. As you can see, it's trying to sign in to my YouTube. So I will have to sign into my YouTube channel. So now it's signed in. No, okay, so it is signed in now, and the next thing for me to do is I want to tweet about it. So I need Twitter. So post a tweet. When I post a tweet, when I just type there tweet, you see post a tweet, and this also will require signing in to my Twitter account, which so I'm just going to authorize, and that works, and I get that is it. So it's asking me now, what do I want to do? What tweet do I want to tweet? I will just write, I just uploaded a video tutorial on, let me quote it, what's the title? So I'll get it there, the video's title as a dynamic content. I'm gonna click on this, click here to check it out. Let me just check it out here. So where's the link? This is the upper link to the video, and I'm going to put it there as it is. Then I save. So right now I'm done. As simple as it is, I have automated that process, that anytime I upload videos on my YouTube channel, then tweet. If I have a media to add, I can add my media here. But this is fine. When I go back to my flow, you're then going to see that flow. This is an automated flow. Let us go again and create another flow. This time around, instant cloud flow. So I'm going to create an instant cloud flow. I'll call this reminder. I want this to remind me maybe every 10 minutes, in case maybe I am at work, I'm working, and then I need to get something done maybe in the next 10 minutes. I just want to remind myself again to go back to that thing. I can then have a flow button that anytime I click on it, it automatically sets a reminder for the next 10 minutes. And after that 10 minutes, it then reminder in 10 minutes, it then reminds me. I'm going to click on manually trigger a flow, because that is what I want. I just want to be the one to trigger it manually. That is instant flow. What is the next step? So anytime I trigger this flow, because I need something in the next 10 minutes, let me put a delay. So I want a delay, and a minute, how many minutes? 10. And what is the next thing? Notification. So I need a notification. Send me a mobile notification. Send me an email notification. I can choose email, and all I just have to do is to compose my mail and say, what do I need to get reminded about? Are you seeing how easy it is to make use of these things? If you have to write Python code or server programming language to automate these things, it's difficult. Or sometimes it's not something that an individual person can do. But Microsoft, through the Power Platform, has made this really possible for us. Right now, the subject, I might want to make it even more dynamic by coming here to Flow and say, add something, test, call it about what? Let me just call it about what? What am I reminding you about? That's it. So that's an input. So when I come here, you ask, I can just say, you ask me to remind you. That's subject. Hi, Ola, you asked me to remind you about, then I'll come down here to dynamic content and I'm going to see about what. Ask me to remind you about this in 10 minutes. It's time to get it done. So I'm then going to click on save. So it's saved now. And if I try to test this flow, and again I say manually and I test, so it's going to sign in to access those applications or those tools, services that is needed to get it to work. Take for example, especially the notification. So I'm going to click on continue. It's asking me question, input about what? In the next 10 minutes, I can just say about sleep. I need to sleep. Run flow. So the flow gets triggered. I did that manually myself, and it just hung there. And when it is 10 minutes, I'm going to receive. It then starts running, and when it is 10 minutes, this is counting down. When it's 10 minutes, I'm going to receive that email. Okay, so let's get back again. So we have two flows. Let's try another flow. This time around, schedule flow, schedule cloud flow. It is scheduled because you can determine the frequency, the time it should start running, how often it should run, and that flexibility you can actually create it there. For me, I often, forget my fiance's birthday, so I just want to create a date around it. I want to create a reminder, maybe for my mom, one of my brother. Let's just pick a brother. My brother, February 8th. I don't used to send him happy birthday, and maybe oftentimes you used to fight with me, but this time around I'm going to say birthday reminder or birthday message. And when should it start? February. I'm going to come down to February 8th, 12 noon time, say 2 p.m. 2 p.m. How often? 12 every month. That's once in a year. Repeat every 12 months. So that's once in a year. So this is a schedule flow. What that means is once in a year, every year, sends that message out. And within an organization, you can use this to. There are ways we will still do those use cases where you automatically feed in every information about the employee just to know their birthday, and anyone whose birthday, is the same with the particular date, then you should send them, birthday mail. And what am I going to do here? Just to send an email, so which I can use Office 365. Say send an email. Send an email. Then the next is to customize my mail, happy birthday, and then put my birthday wishes in the mail, and then save. And what that means is you don't have to touch this schedule flow. Unlike the button flow, we instant flow where you have to be the one to trigger it. This you don't have to. So what's happening right now is trying to gain access to my Office 365 just to sign me in to say that okay, I have access to Office 365 Outlook. Okay, so it's done now. Why am I sending this to? The email is ozzy@gmail.com. Happy birthday from Ola. May this new age brings you smile and sound health. Happy birthday. Alright, and I'm coming down here just to set the importance to normal, otherwise it goes as low importance. You just don't want to receive a mail with low importance. You can even make it high depending on what you want, or you can copy. Maybe I want to copy my siblings just to let them know that I don't used to forget you guys' birthday, or maybe to also remind them too that okay, today is my brother's birthday. You can also send him your wishes. So I'm going to save it now. this video, all I'm doing is just to introduce you to Power Automate, and I'm doing that by showing you the simplest possible automation scenarios by testing. Let's go back to flows now by testing. Here is our automated flow, here is the instant flow, and here is the schedule flow. In the other videos, I'm going to be breaking them down, creating use cases, and we're going to be connecting beyond Microsoft Flow, connecting Microsoft Forms, connecting SharePoint list, Power Apps, Power BI, and you see how all these applications work together. Thank you so much for your patience, and I want to believe that you now understand better how this works. So don't just watch me, also log into Office 365, and if you don't have one, I have shared it in previous video how you can register for a developer account and you have access to these tools so that you can also learn and develop your process automation skills. Alright, thank you so much. I'll see you in the next video.